Welcome to the Art Lady channel. Today's art lesson is on patterned paper, and we're going to be doing a gigantic Eric Carle butterfly display. And this is going to be butterfly wings so that students can stand in front of it and we photograph them in front of the beautiful wings. But I wanted to show you step by step how I made these gigantic pattern papers. This is so easy, and it really only took me a few minutes. Actually, the length of this video is how long it took me to paint all 4 of these gigantic mural papers. And some of these are 10 feet long. So I'm going to show you this simple, quick, and easy process. But let's look close up at some of these patterns and how gorgeous they came out. Beautiful layering of paint. Very quickly, I did this. Nice textures. I even did some paint splashes and blobs. We used some of the paint rollers, or actually paint scrapers. I used some paint scrapers and some notch tools I'll show you as I'm making the video. But I wanted to show you close up how it came out. And actually my favorite one, I love the green. Look at that. That's amazing. It's pretty large. And then here, the metallic came out beautiful. Just all the layering and depth of that paper. And this is great. You can even just cut this apart and do some collages with it. You can see how the metallic is really showing up now as it's drying. This isn't fully dry. It's still hot off that press. Man, we just finished. But look how cool the layering of that paper is. The layering of that color, rather. It's beautiful. That section's gorgeous. But stick around and you'll see how I did this step by step. Real easy, quick, and hope you enjoy the video. The project I've just started for the classroom is going to be a pair of giant Eric Carle style butterfly wings. So my first step is to spread out some large butcher paper on the tables, and I've just squirted some green paint and some yellow, kind of glittery, shiny paint onto the yellow paper first. So I'm going to do some texturing on this yellow paper, but I wanted to show you my setup, and now I'll show you how I'm going to texture, add some cool texture and pattern to this paper by smearing all these colors together. And what I have is some of these plastic tools here. This is just a plastic kind of clay tool, and I'm going to just scrape it like this just to smear my colors together all over to get an interesting surface here. You see how I'm doing it like that? And then I'm going to add some white to this as well, and then I'll drag one of these tools through it to give some cool patterning. And that's how I'm going to texture the paper. And I'll show you how I'm doing it. Now what I'm going to do, because this is the yellow based one for the wings. Now eventually all of this will be cut up. But I just want to show you how I'm actually blending and mixing my colors. Oh darn, did I get that on me? I should use an apron actually. I'm going to go get one. But I'm just spreading some of this white on now because I don't want it to be too bright of a green. I want to tone down that green. And then I'm just going to spread on some more yellow. Just lightly squirt it on. And then I'm just going to take my scraper and just give a light coat everywhere of this. And you want it to be two-toned in mixing. You want to be able to see all the different varieties of color. You don't want it to be all one color. Sometimes kids will take and stir this all and just make one tone, and that you don't want. What I like about these hard edge scrapers is that you're getting large coverage very quickly. If you don't have some kind of a plastic like this, it's basically a gigantic, you can see on the edges it's tapered a little bit here. It's basically a gigantic, see how I'm pulling? Credit card with a little bit of a tapered edge. I bet a styrofoam tray would work, a piece of cardboard even. But what I like about this is it gets large areas fast. And I'm just randomly laying my lines. And then you're going to look at it and say, what do I need more of? Where, look and see. I want to achieve mainly a yellow because this is going to be the background yellow wings. So I want it to be bright. Oh, this is looking good right in here. I want it to look good bright yellow. So over in here, I can see I have a little bit too much white. So this is my main background colors. And I'm just moving the paper a little bit because I had that's where the two student tables meet. I want to come right to my edges. Just real fast. We're about to have our winter break, so these will be drying nicely over the break. And what I'm using is just tempera paint. So they actually will dry very fast. I want to come to my edges. And then I will layer all my other colors. Actually, it's looking really good. And I do want to come in and put a little bit more yellow down this end. Ooh. And yeah, that looks great. And then bring in some more of it over here. That looks really good. So you get that layer effect. And within a few minutes, you've got your layered texture paper. Now, if you want to come back in with some scrapers, these are just notched tools, and I have a variety of them. This you can do with notch some cardboard or foam core, or mat board even will do as a temporary. I've done them with cardboard with my kids, and it lasts for a few classes. See the notched? And this just gives some cool pattern to it. Right on top. A notched pattern. For this one though, like I said, the wings, I want to make sure I get my edges, so I'm going to move this a little bit more. Let me get some white on here. Because the wings, this is going to be the background of the wings, so the wings are the widest, and then I'll layer my colors on top. So I do want to make sure I'm getting my edges done nicely. Right in here. To get the full width of this paper for the wing. I may not need the whole length, but I definitely need the width. So I'm going to pull this. I want this side. I want this width here on this edge. And we've got a lot of cool texture going on. I'm going to bring it to my edge. I'm going to pull some of that white off and bring it over here. And basically it's as simple as that. You saw how easy that is. Right there. And I'm going to bring some yellow back in here. Bright yellow on top. And I don't mind if I have a few little wrinkles in here because that gives more interesting texture as well. And we're getting pretty soggy now. I don't want it to be too soggy. Although, like I said, I'm just leaving the paper here and not. And I want to clean this a little bit. It's getting a little messy. Now this is the orange paper, so I'm going to go ahead and give some values of orange and red. And I want a little bit of white and yellow as well. Here's some yellow. Okay. And then I want a little bit of white here and there. So basically just drizzle your color and just blend them in. I want to make sure, let's see. Let's get this area. And you can see it's kind of combining it. Let's see. I do it in different directions. Give some nice, interesting coatings here. And then take some of the scrapers and add, let's see, this one I think works better. Get a light coating everywhere. I really like that sparkled gel paint. It really looks good. Okay, you can see how it's coming out here. I kind of pick up and move it. And if I see some kind of in different directions here as I'm working it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this up into pieces after. This just gives a quick tonal values, different values all over, and texture on a large scale. Let's see. Now I'm coming back with some orange on top. It does appear to be a little bit more white in the video. It really does have more of a orangey red. The white, I don't know why it doesn't show up like that. The white's kind of overpowering in the video. So we're being distorted a little bit on my colors. There. Yeah, for some reason that white's coming out real milky on the video, on camera. But here is the orange section. Now you can even drizzle some water if you water down some of this paint and just splash it even. I have a little bit left in this bucket, so I'm just going to give some splashes here to it. And that'll just give little light dots. Just kind of drizzle some speckles everywhere. And that'll look cute too. And even sponge this for texture. Or even fold it. Once you have something like that, you can fold and press. Now be careful, if it's really tacky, the paper will stick. Oh yeah, I did get some sticking going on. So if it's pretty dry, this paper's so thin. And I am doing it on the side that has the gloss to it. This butcher paper comes with a little bit of gloss. There, just gonna fix that tear. Okay, that one's good to go for my orange section. Now I'm working up the blue section. So I am going to just squirt in some, this is actually a watercolor magic. It has a little bit of glitter to it. This is going to be gorgeous. And then I'm going to use some purple. This is just plain purple tempera paint. I really love my favorite. One of my favorite brands is the Blick Premium. Love that. Here is a little bit of light fluorescent. And you can see I'm really just doing this very quickly. Like I said, this is just something for a friend. She wanted to have a display in her classroom. So it's nothing professional. So we're just doing it quick and easy. You know, things like this for classroom and school use, you know, shouldn't take you hours. That's my philosophy. You know, we all have school lives, right? So things like this, fast and easy and quick, and you're good to go. Oh, wow. Beautiful colors. Let me show you that. And I just use them straight out of the bottle. I didn't do a lot of mixing here. And I'm working up my area just so that it's not all the same. You don't want to do long strokes like that because you're going to see streaks. You want it to be just layers of blended color. This tool actually is my favorite here. It's gorgeous. Look at this. It's real pretty. This is for the dark wing tips. They have some dark color in the butterfly wing on the tip area. I think that's big enough there. Now let me just go ahead and work up this area down here. Because I don't need to go to the edges on this one, because the blue comes out, it's going to be much smaller area than the actual yellow. The yellow is the background color of the wings. So I don't need big sections of this paper for the rest. And wow, this is beautiful color. So just a few minutes for each color. And if you want to add little streaks and swirls, this is where you can do some fun stuff. Here, let me show you what that looks like. Right in there. And you have to really work fast, because with tempera paint, this stuff dries pretty quick. You saw how fast it was when I folded over the orange one. It had already started drying, and this paper is pretty thin and cheap, so it doesn't hold up to a lot of movement and playing with color before it'll start ripping and tearing. But we've got a lot of nice texture going on that one. That's beautiful. Gorgeous. Let me show you here. Let's see if you can get that completed. If I hold that up, I hope you can see it. Let's see. Fold this. Yeah, I hope that's in view. Okay, so there we have the blue one. So it's only a few minutes. Like I said, this is just for something for a school project. So we're not, you know, let me see if you can see that one there. So it shouldn't take a teacher, you know, hours to do. At least it shouldn't take this teacher hours to do, because I love doing everything quick and fast. Now on to the next color. And now on to the last color, my green. You want to make sure the glossy side is up. And there we go. I'm using some yellow tempera. I'm using this little bit of this fluorescent tempera, or it's a light blue tempera. If you don't have a light blue, just take some blue and make your own. I am heavy on the yellow, and then I've got some of this glittery magic watercolor. It's kind of a gel-based stuff here. And sprinkle that on. And then I take my trusty, and you notice I haven't even washed this. And I take this trusty little scraper, and there we go. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Just in different directions, kind of like if you do an X pattern. That seems to help. Spread it. Like again, I said, no big long streaks. And beautiful. I'm lightly scraping. I'm not really pushing real hard. So there is a little bit of a buildup here. I'm guessing it'd take probably an hour to dry. Maybe an hour and a half. But hopefully we will be gone by then. This is a teacher work day. So you can see during teacher work days, we are working very hard. But I thought I would video this because Carle is a pretty popular author and illustrator, and a lot of people like to do those, replicate his wings. Oops, I don't think you can see that. And we're going to actually do these giant wings, and we're going to post it in the media center so that the kids can take their picture in front of it. So that's what this project is all about. And there we go. And just for some fun, I've got a little metallic here going on. Oh, whoa. Did you get that on camera? Yep. That was a big blob. So, no problem. I'm just going to move my big blob. Just for some fun. I want this metallic. I'm even going to take one of these notched trowels here and put some of that in too. With this, I'll just dip it into here. Like I said, we're going to be cutting this up, so if you have a little mistake like that, certainly is no big deal, because that, or any area that you don't like, that's the area you don't have to cut. So I'm trying to work up the whole thing so my paper doesn't dry. And the metallic is going to give just a little shimmer. Let me pull some of this off, quite a bit of that. And anywhere where it's a bit too heavy that you don't like, yeah, the metallic is drying very fast right now. I do have some area that's too thick, like this. Go back with your color. Put a little there, and layer it back on top if it's too heavy. And then scrape out some. There you go. So, pretty easy. For layering of color. Like that. I'm just going to kind of see if it'll shake off some dots, because I don't want it too heavy. I'll smear them in. There. It's a little heavy. Smear it out. I don't think our AC's on today. It's real hot in here. Wow. Because it's a teacher work day. They don't put AC on, I'm guessing. Okay, there we have it. I love the green. Maybe a tad of sparkle up here. More of this sparkle. This is the darker blue area. Am I catching that on video there? Slide me down. Yeah. Beautiful. The sparkle stuff is really awesome. It doesn't show up so much now, but when the sparkle dries, you really get a gorgeous, it's kind of like a present. You don't see it now, but when it dries, you see an amazing sparkle. It's a metallic shimmer sparkle. And there we have our paper. Now I'll show you how I'm going to cut this all up in the next steps. But I wanted to show you how you actually make your pattern paper for Eric Carle butterflies or Eric Carle art, large pattern papers. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see the assembled part of this, I'll have a part 2 of this video, so you can click on Eric Carle butterfly part 2 assemblage, and you will be able to see me assembling the butterfly, but this is just the paper section.